What's going on YouTube? This is Isaiah Panther and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome. This channel is here to inspire the independent creative artist. Today I just want to drop you a quick production technique within the world of video editing. I use a software called Davinci Resolve to do most of my editing within YouTube, and it is a free software. Yes, it is free. I will drop the link below for you to be able to get the downloads and get started with just understanding the realm of video editing. I will show you today how to upload videos onto your timeline, keyboard shortcuts, and rendering your videos in file formats that are best used for YouTube. So thank you so much. Before we go, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bells for more information, and let's go. Alright guys, so we are now in Davinci Resolve. I'm going to break down a few components that you're going to need right off the bat. This here is our media pool. Anytime you would like to bring in any media that you may have from your downloads or from any external hard drives that you may have, Command I will get you into your Finder window. You then can go into your downloads, whatever folder that you may have your documents in, and just pull those straight out of there, open them from this folder. As you can see, I already have all of my files within the media pool, so I won't be choosing anything, but just so you know, Command I is the shortcut to get you in there. Once you have all of your clips loaded into your media pool, you can then drag and drop them easy peasy straight into the timeline, which is down here at the bottom of the screen. When you're zooming in and out, when you're here in your timeline, Command minus will minus the amount of space that you have there, and Command plus will add space. We'll zoom in. So it's basically zoom in, zoom out. Minus is to zoom out, plus is to zoom in, and just keep that command held. So once we're inside here, you can see that there's not much room that I can actually work within. So if you would like to, you can close out your media pool. And then over here on this side is our inspector. So if you have any clips chose in your timeline, your inspector window will then be the controls for the parameters that you would like to, affect within that clip. So just keep that in mind. This is the inspector window, but I'm going to close it just to maximize space so you can kind of see what's happening here. I have already just added the clips in and put them in a way of sequence that works for the film that I created. So I'll show you exactly a run through of what it looks like, and then we can talk about the breakdown of what I did. All right, so that's just a nice little intro video into a nail art piece that I did for a friend. And really, it was pretty simple. When I recorded the video, I recorded it in clips because I wanted to just make sure that I had all of the pieces that I needed, and they kind of fit together really well. I did add some timing effects to some of the clips just to give a little variation, but for the most part, I just found really good sequence timing and put them all together in a nice cohesive way. I added some music down here at the bottom, as you can see, this Sneaky Snooper MP3, and it just gave the video a nice little artsy vibe. So here, if you can look, you see that there are just a bunch of different clips that are put together, but you can add so many different transitions to these pieces. And up here at the top next to the media pool are effects. You can then go into adding any type of video transitions. They have blurs, dissolves, cross dissolves, dip to color, dip to black, non-additive things, and then you can get really fun with different types of like transitions that mimic shapes, and really cool designs. So I suggest if you're going to be playing with Davinci Resolve, go into those transitions, those video transitions, because it really can add some really fun, unique stylings to your videos. For this one, I wanted to keep it really clean and sharp, so I didn't add many video transitions, but I do want to add some text to the video. So right around here, let's see, I'm going to zoom in a bit, Command plus, and right around here, 1 minute, I want to add in a title. So I'm going to drag and drop this text bar in here. It's a bit long, so if you press B, that is your cut tool. So I'm just gonna cut that. A will take you back to the arrow tool. I'll delete that out. And as you can see, it says basic text here. I'm going to open the inspector window again. And as you can see, basic title is right here in the text space. I'm gonna erase that and I'll just add a nail story. Now, from here, you can play around with the font. There's a lot of different fonts that they have there, so you can have a lot of choices. And you can play around with the font types you would like to choose, but regular is the default. And I want to change the color of this text to be a little bit more in tune with what the color is of the actual nails that she's going to be doing. So I'm going to just bring that down a little bit. And I feel like that color is nice. You can see it. The white space gives it a nice background. So we're going to use that. And now let's see how it works with the rest of this. Oh, actually, you have to, once you've chosen your color over here in this area, you can then press OK, and that will confirm the color choice that you made. If you would like to make any other choices with like size of the word, tracking, how far the letters are together, things like that, you can go through and play with all of these positions, alignment. There's a lot of different parameters that you can get into, but I want to keep this video just to the fundamentals to get you guys started. So once that's chosen, you can see that it's now locked in. And then here, I want to add her name. I think it'll just, kind of also be a good intro tag to let people know who's working on this. Again, bring it in, and then you can cut that out. And then from there, I would just put in her name. This is my best friend, Felicia Henry. She does really great nails. So if you're looking to get your nails done, hit her up. She's on Instagram at Felicia Henry, or at Passport Nails, actually. And so then again, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go into the text and change it to something that's a little bit more fancy. And then we're going to go again and choose a color palette. I see there's a little bit of green in that nail swatch there, so I'm going to play around with that. Bring that down a bit. Nice. I like that. Press OK, and that's going to put that in for you. Just so we can have some more space, I'm going to close out these windows. And let's see. So on these clips here of the nail bottles that's doing the roll, I played around with some timing. So if you do Command R, it will give you your speed change. If you press this arrow sign beside that 100%, you'll see that you have a lot of different choices. You can change the speed of the clip. You can reset the clip speed if you've changed it and didn't like it, so you can reset it back to 100%. You can freeze frame that clip just to kind of hold it as long as you want to. You can reverse this segment, and then it will actually do some really cool stuff. And I think I reversed this actually. So I reversed it. It was rolling one way, and I duplicated the clip in these 3 clip points here, and I just reversed it one way, reversed it the other way, and then I took another clip and kind of just played around with the direction of it. And just little things like that will help you kind of add some dynamic motion to your videos. until you get into the bigger leagues where you're actually doing like animation and keyframes and stuff like that. But time will really play around, will help you in the beginning. So I changed the clip speed on that one. Remember, it's Command R, okay? And that'll help you get to your timing. So I went through one time, boom, boom. And to add some smooth transitions to your video, here at the end, I added a fade out, which is like a cross dissolve. If you go into effects, you can see I added a cross dissolve here at the end, and I added one at the beginning as well, so it can be a bit smoother. And then I'll go here, video transitions, cross dissolve on the intro, and then you can actually bring that in so it's not so long and it can just fade right in. You see that? It's really nice and smooth. I think it's recommended to add a fade in and a fade out on all of your videos, as well as the audio. You fade it you fade it up so you can have a nice smooth entrance, and it's not so abruptly ending, or introing, and it's not so abruptly ending at the end. So fade it out here at the end, and you can see that it added a nice outro. Yeah. So once you've done that, we could get into a lot of cool things like color grading on here, and that's something I'll add for a different video. But here you can play around with just the temperature of the colors within your video if you want to bring things out, make things pop. Davinci Resolve really gives you a lot of flexibility with being able to play with the white balance, bring up tones, bring up different colors, hot spots in your videos. It's really amazing. I actually am not too versed in color grading, but I know in this latest upgrade, they've actually added some presets for YouTube videos and things like that. So I definitely suggest checking this out and kind of seeing what happens or what you could get accomplished with color grading, because it will make your video stand out. But just for this video, I'm going to fast forward a bit to the rendering process. They have a music section here as well, or an audio section. So if you want to, play with the EQ or panning of your music, you can also do that in here as well. I'm going to keep everything pretty basic in this video just because I would like to get people going with this actual program. And the most important part, I think, is to actually render your video. So when you're here in the side, on your right side, you're going to see the file name. I'm going to name this a nail story. Final edit. And I always add the date on my videos. It's just a really good organizational tip, is to just add the date, because you want to make sure you know which clips you're doing, especially if you do a lot of like re-edits and you want to go back and change things. You kind of want to know which video is the correct one. So that it's 2/16 today, 21, and then you want to make sure the location is somewhere where you can actually access it really quickly, because you don't want to be digging through files to find your video. Working edit sessions, that's where I know sessions that I'm working on are going to be. If it's going to be my final YouTube edits, I usually will put it in that folder there. And for the video today, I'll do that. So we'll go into our final YouTube edits, and then we'll make sure everything else is good. We're rendering it in a single clip, not individual clips. You want it to be one single continuous video. It's going to export all of the video. And format, I usually pick MP4 because it just is a really good usable format for YouTube, Instagram. Sometimes MOV and these other file formats can be a bit bigger in size, and so MP4 I found works the best usually on most platforms. Resolution, I usually keep the same. 1080 HD is always a really good go-to. 24 frames per second is pretty standard. And as far as quality goes, automatic is always a pretty good go-to, because it just kind of gives you the format for YouTube or any of these platforms that they have up here at the top. But if you are working if you're working in a social media platform that is asking you to upload only something that has 50 megabytes to it, and sometimes your file size can be a bit larger, you can restrict the amount of kilobytes per second to actually minimize the size of your video and still keep the video quality the same, and that's something we can touch on in another video, but for this video we'll just keep it on automatic. And all of these are pretty much preset to something that's standard for this render process. So once you finish with all of those settings, you're just going to add that to your render queue, and you'll see here I've rendered it a few times already, but your latest one will be the most updated one. So that's why it's important to name your video with the most updated time or edit process that you're in. If you're in your final edit, or if this is edit 2, name the file as such. And then you're just going to make sure, here at the bottom, another really great tool is your render in and out range. You don't want it to be the entire timeline, because then it'll render forever and it'll just be rendering blank space. You want to render your in and out range, and that is this gray bar here at the top. As you can see, I is where I have it in, and then right here at the end I press O, and that is the out point. So these are keyboard shortcuts for this. You want to go to the beginning of your video and press I, and that'll get you an end point. And then you want to go into the end of your video and press O, and that'll give you your out point. Remember, again, Command minus will zoom out, Command plus will zoom in, just so you can make sure that you are at the right destination for the endpoint. Sometimes if you don't zoom all the way in, you can be a little before or a little after, and it'll add some blank space to your video. But if you make sure that it's right at the beginning of the video, your videos will start immediately. All right, and from there, all you have to do is then press render, and then it will render your video as you have it sequenced. You'll see here at the top how much time it's taking, and once it's complete, you'll see it all done. And then if you would like to check it out, you can go into the Finder, and just for easy access, I'll go to Final YouTube Edits. That's my final photo here. And then as you can see right here, a nail story, final edit 2/16/21. And then I'll open it with QuickTime Player, and here is my video. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please drop some comments below. Let me know if it was helpful for you, if you are finding it maybe difficult to kind of navigate in the world of DaVinci Resolve. And I'll definitely create more videos just to kind of break down some other components of DaVinci that I found useful. If you checked out my previous video, I've developed some animation techniques, some really cool graphic ideas. So I'm definitely learning, and I'm here to share the information with you. So let me know, and I'll talk to you soon. Be free, be free, be free, humans.